Welcome to Highclere Castle, the real Downton Abbey. And I thought I would share with you some of the experiences you will enjoy with privileged access as a Viking guest. So let me show you around. Come with me. So here we are in the North Library. This is the first room you enter into on your visit to us as a Viking guest with privileged access. I think in Downton Abbey they might have called it the small library, but it's north facing, so that's what we've always called it. And there were many scenes set in here with Hugh Bonneville as Lord Grantham, and their photographs were all around, whereas of course it's now photographs of myself and my family and Geordie's family, a little bit different. Within this library there are 6,500 books. It is a complete treasure. I think for many people, it's their favourite room in the entire castle. Or one of them actually. I don't know. I love this room. It has a sense of peace and harmony and coherence. And there's nothing more important than books and reading and the knowledge and the empathy and experience we can gain from reading them. They're very important to all those who travel on Viking ships, both ocean and river as well. And the libraries are beautifully curated on board. So there's always something to find to interest you, both in fiction and non-fiction, I know, and it's one of the first places I always go when I'm on board. So come with me into the main library, which was the scene of so many scenes with the redoubtable Maggie Smith. This main library is such a stunning room, and it has a very ornate ceiling. All the bookshelves, however, are decorated with floral fruits or flowers or things from the natural world. So it's about wood and books and the natural world in here. And there are many books about travel and exploration, Egypt, as well as novels and biographies. But of all the things in the house and all the paintings, however great they are, these red sofas have become so famous. So many scenes from Downton Abbey were shot with Maggie Smith perched on one side or another, or standing here to give everyone on the sofas a piece of her wit and wisdom. So it's extraordinary how the small details and the individual lines have come to mean so much to all of us here. I think Downton Abbey was watched by some 400 million people, and I hope many of you enjoyed it as well. And on point, here is a board displaying one of the scenes, and Maggie Smith standing just there with a little green marker on the carpet so that all the cameras can be lined up perfectly. The table of ours is there covered with a white cloth, and the sandwiches, I'm not actually sure they ever got to eat them, but there would be some afternoon tea. Come with me next door. Each room that you step through is slightly different, a different world, a different feeling, a little bit of different behind the drama. And this is the music room, which is what we call it, although we tend not to play any musical instruments in here, but it's decorated in terms of the doors and the gilding with musical instruments. In fact, Geordie's grandfather used it as a ping pong room, which actually might be quite fun. Geordie and I tend to use it as a small dining room, and there's a table hidden under that tablecloth. If you're visiting with Viking, the one thing we will for sure show you is Napoleon's desk. So this is Emperor Napoleon's desk, made by Jacob Frère. It was made in about 1802, in fact, before he was emperor, because there's a C for consul underneath the arm of the armchair. But it's a huge honour to have it here, and something definitely to pause and think about, because so much of his legacy is still what we're wrestling with today in terms of all the Napoleonic Code and the laws within Europe, and England wasn't part of that. So we have quite a few big differences. And I suppose the last thing to mention, which you will also notice, is there's some plastic at the bottom half of the embroideries in here, and that's to protect them, because they're 16th century, possibly even earlier. This room could therefore not be used so easily by Downton because they didn't want the reflections, but I can share them with you because I'm owning up to them. Come with me into the drawing room. Highclere is quite a strong, masculine building, very Victorian, but this room is so feminine and so pretty. And it's this wonderful green silk wallpaper, which was hung here by Almina, the 5th Countess of Carnarvon, in 1895, so it's quite French. The ceiling, in fact, dates from the 18th century house, which stood here before the eminent Victorian architect, Sir Charles Barry, went to work to encase the earlier house and make it what is nominally a Victorian masterpiece today. And the paintings, well, they're all about children and mainly Geordie's relatives. And of course, there's a little pet dog. But you can see the pet dog over here, and I'm not sure many of us would like to try touching or stroking him, but I suspect he loved the children, and I'm not sure he likes the portrait artist. So for all the paintings and the works of art which can enrich our knowledge of our predecessors, sometimes it's the tiny details which actually catch our attention. This is one of my husband Geordie's favourite rooms. It's called the smoking room. Before that it was called the antiquities room in the time of the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, who discovered the tomb of Tutankhamun. In the 18th century, I think they used it as a breakfast room because it faced south. And there's actually a conservatory, an orangery just outside. I would quite have liked that, but I think for Charles Barry, that spoiled the line of his architecture. So that went. This room obviously remained, but you can see the 18th century covings and decoration. Of the 39 paintings that came into this castle in 1677 with my husband's family, we still have 25, and quite a few of them are in this room. So it's quite an old-fashioned room with huge leather armchairs, which I think date from the 6th Earl's time, and a rather lovely screen, which I think is quite old, so we try not to move it. And otherwise, perhaps the Canalettos might inspire you to go to Venice and explore northern Italy and the northern lakes. And it's predominantly 17th century artwork. But for all the artwork again, when you come and visit here, I bet you'll pause at that table and looking at the wedding photographs of mine and my parents-in-law and my grandparents-in-law, because they're the fun bit, those small insights into other people's lives. This is always one of the lightest, sunniest rooms, even on a grey day. And curiously enough, it was one that Maggie Smith used to sit in. It used to be her green room when she wanted a few minutes offset with a cup of tea. So once more, we're back in an earlier part of the house with an 18th century beautiful ceiling. And in here, I've hung so many pictures, paintings of the women, because Highclere is a double act. It's Geordie and myself. And I think if it was going to be successful, it was always thus. So I wanted to recognise many of the women, my mother-in-law and my in-laws well beyond that, who worked so hard to make this a happy home in which to live and a happy home for you all to visit. Having made it up the red stairs, you'll be delighted to walk into this bedroom first of all. And this was Lord and Lady Grantham's bedroom on Downton Abbey. And when they were filming here, there'd be about 40 crew in this bedroom sometimes. And they closed all the windows, so the whole room did get very hot. And you'd have Hugh Bonneville and Elizabeth McGovern in bed here. Some of these scenes would take half a day. They'd only be having a cup of tea. Anyway, let me go behind the red rope for you. Here we go. And just talk a little bit about this extraordinary set of furniture in the bed. So the bed is 18th century, it's beautiful, very much part of the historic chattels of this house. And this set of French furniture is also very special. But due to light and age, it had completely disintegrated. And it's taken us a long time to agree the pattern and the repair profile. So it's picked up much of the pattern at the back. It's made by a silk weaving company called Humphreys in this country, in Suffolk, in Sudbury. The whole project has been masterminded by my sister Lucy, who has been brilliant and has a huge interest in textile restoration. We've actually put in 2 C's here and an F and a G. I've also been woven into the pattern, which is Fiona and Geordie, which I think is really nice. It's just a lovely little way of leaving a tiny legacy. I think it's possibly taken 1.5 to 2 years, because having agreed the fabric pattern and the colours, these are very soft and very gentle, within the weaving process, the set then had to be reupholstered. And again, it's done like for like. So it probably spent 6 months with the reupholster. It's all done really carefully by wonderful craftsmen who I love meeting and doing a shout out for. So that's Steve and Humphreys Weaving. They've both been amazing. So I hope you'll enjoy coming in here and seeing Highclere Castle and Downton Abbey. When you come on your tour with Viking here, there's another, 8, 9 bedrooms you'll see around the gallery before you head down the main stairs. But I'm going to take you to the most famous staircase, one of the most famous staircases in the world, because Lady Mary and Hugh Bonneville and Lord Grantham, they all walked down it all together. So I think that's a huge pleasure that all of our guests find walking down the main staircase, and you will too. So this is the main staircase here at Highclere. I think there's probably another 6, 7 other staircases, but this is the one which I think all of our guests, and obviously especially Viking guests, dream of walking down. And it concludes the bedroom tour as you make your way down towards the dining room. It is the most beautiful space with the Gothic windows highlighting the Victorian fascination with medieval times, bringing the light in, with a very wonderful painting by Joshua Reynolds of Mrs. Musters, and these 2 very large Brussels tapestries either side of the main staircase. But even the ceiling is so beautiful. It's not too ornate, it's quite pared back and quite simple. This is pure Sir Charles Barry. This was not here before the Victorian castle was created. If you like, it was a little add-on. So, join me down as we go down the stairs. I am quite sure you all recognise this dining room. There were so many scenes set here in Downton Abbey, and of course it really began in this room when they were having breakfast along this end, and they read in the newspapers about the sad tragedy of the loss of the Titanic. And around that one event and the loss of the heir to Downton Abbey, the whole story began to hang. And then that was when Matthew Crawley ended up arriving and falling in love and marry with him eventually. And then after that, obviously, the story developed, as did Mary's love life. But when they used to come and do a scene in here, it was one of the most complicated rooms to film in. They'd have about 3 different camera positions, often about 14 people, so not far off the number this table is actually set for. But it took them all day. They'd arrive at 7 a.m. to sit down here, and they'd be filming for 11 hours. And at the end of all that effort, they might well have gained 3.5 minutes for all of us, all of you, to enjoy on television. Obviously, the room is dominated by this extraordinary painting of Charles I by Anthony van Dyck, probably painted around 1633. It is simply stunning beyond words. And there are so many interesting stories about it, because he's the only king to have been executed by Parliament, because he thought he was answerable to God and not the people. And thereafter, only Parliament could raise taxes or go to war. It was not on the word of the king. So he was deprived of his executive power. So it's a really interesting painting, and that really meant that England avoided perhaps the French Revolution and the other revolutions that took place in Europe in the succeeding centuries. So here it is, hanging here where the Granthams, or we, might sometimes have breakfast. There are many other paintings that our guides will share with you when you're actually here in this room, and I do hope that you'll join us on a pre or post cruise and see something beyond the voyage.